Hey guys, it's Lobo. Um, I haven't done one of these in a long time, and I need to do a better job of keeping up with this because I do need to read the Bible from cover to cover, and I still want to go on this journey with you guys. So we're gonna record a new episode of Genesis, King James version of the Bible, um, and do more discussions hopefully uh, whenever we can. So let's just buckle right into it. And Adam knew his wife, or knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But to Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very, very wroth, and his countenance fell. Oh wow. So Cain was in charge of taking care of the fruits and vegetables, and Abel was in charge of taking care of the sheep. And Abel brought forth a sheep with its fat. Cain brought fruits and vegetables, and the Lord was like, I don't want your fruits and veggies. I want meat. That's one way to get scorned. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why is it thy countenance fallen? If if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and be a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord, and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Irad. And Irad beget Mehujael, and Mehujael beget Methusael, and Methusael beget Lamech. And Lamech took unto him two wives. The name of one was Adah, and the name of the other is Zillah. And Adah bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwells in tents, and of such as of cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. And Zillah, She also bare to Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his wives Adah and Zillah, Hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. And Adam knew his wife again. She bare a son and called the name Seth. For God said, She hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son. He called his name Enos. And then began man to call upon the name of the Lord. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. So Cain has an entire generation going on. Let's see here. How many is it? Cain had a wife, and got hold on. Where'd it go? Enoch. So yeah. So Cain has a wife, and then he has Irad, Majal. So unless I'm misunderstanding what begat man, let me just do a quick look up, so that way I'm not misunderstanding and not misinterpreting begat, because I feel like it means to father or to procreate. Yeah. So I thought so. So how many generations is this? Okay, so Cain has a wife. She conceived Enoch. Enoch owns Irad, so that's Cain's grandson, great-grandson, great-great-grandson, and great-great-great-great-grandson. And then Lamech got 2 wives, and then one had, let's see here, one had another son, and so Jubal, so 2 sons, so that's 5 greats, if I'm mathing right, so 5 great-grandsons, and Zillah had also a son and then a sister, so 5 greats, 1 grandson, 1 granddaughter, as far as we're aware. This is what was accounted. So, whew, bro, he got scorned, and it was like, you know what? I'm gonna procreate like crazy, bro. Oh my gosh. The question is, who are the wives of Enoch, Irad, and Majal, and Methuselah, and Lamech? Lamech, we know who the wives were. It was Zillah and Adah. But who were the others? unless he's telling me his wife that Cain took, she was also, that and that, and that's a little weird. Because then we're gonna get into a different level of messed up. But to do all of that because you got scorned for not being acknowledged, for bringing unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. So let's see here. That doesn't help me anything. But yeah, from my understanding of this is just, maybe he didn't get the respect because it's a little harder to raise cattle and stuff like that, and versus the earth, you got to water it and take care of the weeds now and then. At least as far as the modern interpretation, I don't know what it was like back several thousand years ago. That's a different topic altogether. But I'm assuming because a lot of the stuff that Cain had to do in order to provide an offering was plant the seeds after tilling up the land, and that's a lot of labor all in itself. But then after that, the plants did it on its own, and depending on the plants, we can talk about tomatoes or peppers or corn, and depending on location. And then if you did fruits from trees, those are forever reproducing if allowed to continue to their own devices, and they are properly watered, whether it be from rain or something like that, that's a natural flow. Versus taking care of herds and everything is a continuous effort of making sure those herds stay safe away from wild animals like wolves, coyotes, depending on location, everything. Like I said, you got other dangers like wild cats and everything like that. And then you got to make sure not only you herd them, but they're properly procreating and everything like that. If they're sheep that I know modern sheep are very different than probably the first initial version of the sheep, where it needs to be sheared all the time, but their hooves need to be trimmed all the time. But you got there's a lot more effort maybe that takes care of it, and then you also have to go through the process of killing the sheep, breaking it down into usable meats and everything. You can't just provide the entire corpse and everything and call it good, because the inside of the corpse will start decomposing and it will have a lot of issues. So maybe it's because that has a little more process versus vegetables and fruits can be natural reproducing after you do the initial work. I could be misunderstanding this, but that is my interpretation of that, and that is probably the most basic reason for why Cain felt scorned and everything. He's like, I put a lot of effort initially, even though this is all forever reproducing, and I just have to maintain it. Why can't it receive this acknowledgement? Versus with Abel, he's taking care of the flock, and with the flock, you have to essentially start over, with each of the calves or each of the little babies. When it comes to raising it, taking care of it, maintaining it, over and over and over again. So you're always resetting at one point for every sheep that you kill, or every cattle that you kill. You're restarting from ground zero with the infant and the offspring thereafter. So I can kind of see where that is a little more impressive than gardening. But at the same time, what level of acknowledgement did he get, or what level of disrespect did he not receive? It's almost like he's expecting the respect and everything, versus just accepting the fact that the difference in labors is a big component probably into the level of acknowledgement. I'm not sure. I can't claim to understand this completely, but that's just my level of interpretation of this, is that he was expecting his offering to get a lot of respect, almost the same level as Abel's, and when it didn't, because he didn't consider all the facts that Abel probably had to do with when it comes to herding the animals versus him just tilling up the ground and then planting and then just receiving the goods that was received from the earth, as well as natural things that happen, not only to his labor. I'm not saying that gardening is not as hard as cattle raising. It's just a different level, and there's some more physicalities that come with it on the herding part versus the gardening part. Not 100% sure. It's just what I perceived to be the translation of this, is that Cain expected the same level of praise, or at least to be respected or something like that, and he didn't get it. And it's that level of expectation of receiving that praise that made him scorned, and that's why he was punished. And then he retaliated by having a bunch of offspring or something like that. I don't know. You guys tell me. So thank you for joining me. Hopefully I'll get through another chapter soon, and I won't be as silent as I have been. The life has just been a hurricane. But till then, talk to you later. Bye.